guys, in this episode of Knocking About, I am in Siparia and I'm at a family member's house. It's my auntie and she has a little garden in her backyard, and I just want to show you guys what she has, the trees, the different plants, just for you all to have a little idea of some Trini herbs and seasonings. So let's go on this little tour as we knock about in her backyard. So today auntie will carry us to show us her little garden.
I'm the tour guide.
Tour guide?
Like this.
Auntie, what tree is this? This one here.
This is 5 finger.
5 finger, okay. No fruits yet. Auntie have a nice setup. Look, Congo pepper.
Yes, pepper.
Congo pepper or Scotch bonnet pepper. So here auntie has her bandania or shadow benny. You plant these by the pieces, auntie? Like with the root? Okay, so that is pimento. What is the purpose of the what is the purpose of this?
Put that so that grass wouldn't grow around.
Oh,
And it just keep the moisture the pepper. So we don't have to
smart.
water every
That's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody come, they always ask like, what you put that for?
Yeah, well, that's smart. This is what a pimento pepper tree looks like. There's no pepper on that one. Auntie pick out all the pepper before we come. No, that's not pimento. That one is hot pepper. Watch. Hot pepper. Yeah, we could show. So in Trinidad, we would call this fig, but this is really called banana. And these are green. These would get mature and they would get ripe. We cook it green curry or sada, and we don't cook it when it's ripe, but you can make it with desserts. And this is what the tree looks like. It's a banana plant, but we call it a fig. This is a really huge rough lemon tree. Yeah, getting it. You guys see? Right inside here, there's a lemon. But it starts off kind of smooth because look at this one. And then as it grows and it matures, it gets really big and rough. So auntie plants all her peas. Yeah, we'll go get that. We'll go show you guys a picture of the chalta tree. Because I want to do the chalta recipe, chalta anchor for you guys. So she already picked the chalta for me, but we're gonna show you guys what the chalta tree actually looks like. This is the flowers from the pigeon peas tree, and these are what the pigeon peas pods would look like. And here we have a pomsite tree, or it's also called June plum or golden apple in some other Caribbean countries. What type of orange tree is this? Like a Valencia orange? So these are the local Trinidad oranges. These are really, really big. Really nice. Yeah, so this one is Wonder of the World. Okay, this one is used for medicinal purposes. And this next state is called pudina. And this is what I use a lot of. It's also called Cuban Oregano or pot marjoram or broadleaf thyme. And it's really good with very gamey meat like goat, lamb. And here we have another version of it. And this one has a white edge, if you guys can see on the leaf, but it's the same pudina, pot marjoram, oregano, it's also called. So this is so flavorful. You guys have seen me using this when I make green seasoning. In the back here, Auntie has some dasheen bush. Now these are the leaves that we use to make callaloo, and what you do, you plant these especially where it has a lot of water, because they need a lot of water to survive. The bottom of it, there's a dasheen tuber which we use to make boil and fried dasheen, and you serve the boil and fried dasheen with stew fish. So these are all the plants that she has here that would be transplanted pretty soon. In here she has her Chinese parsley or Trinidad celery. It's a very flavorful celery. It's not like that usual celery, the celery stalk. This celery has more flavor in it, and I guess she put the net over it to help protect it, so maybe no critters or no iguanas or anything would come eat it. Here she has her scythe, as we say in Trinidad, we call scallions scythe, and she has some more bandania plants. And here we have what we call in Trinidad chorai bhaji, or callaloo, or spinach, and it's very tasty. We cook most of it except for the thicker stems, we get rid of that, but it's a very flavorful, very delicious bhaji. So if you guys have never tried it, I want to try to do a recipe for this for you all, so I promise you I will do it. I'm not a lover of it, but I promise you once you taste it you'll like it, because I was never a lover of chorai bhaji, but once you cook it properly and you put enough pepper and onions and garlic in it, it tastes really nice with sada roti. Here we have some more bandania, and bandania is the main herb in our Caribbean green seasoning. And we have a little spider right there. So guys, if you watch in the distance, watch my finger. That tree right there is called a piwa tree, and I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can see if you guys can see the fruit on the tree right there. That's what we call piwa. And so this piwa fruit, we wait until it's ripe. It gets really bright orange, and then you boil it in salted water, and you peel out the skin and you eat the flesh that is on the inside. And some people also like eating the seeds. It's a very like a potato. I would describe it as a potato like texture, a really thick potato like texture. So you want to make sure when I'm eating this, you need to have a bottle of water, because you can definitely choke on that flesh because it's so thick. So that's the piwa tree. All the way down in the back there, watch where my finger is, that's a Moko plant, and a Moko is like a shorter or a smaller version of a plantain, but not as sweet as a plantain. And if you guys watch, there's also a teak tree. This is the teak tree here. It's a really tall tree, and that's where they would get the wood to make teak furniture, which is like one of the most expensive lumber materials that you could use when you're building cupboards or anything doing woodwork. It's a really expensive material to use. So I'm gonna show you guys here. This is what they call a chulha, or a fireside. Now this is made out of clay. She has a couple where she was experimenting on making them, but she got this one. And what you would do is you would take pieces of wood and you would put it here, but you wouldn't want to do this on anything that's wood or anything that can burn. So you would want to put it on either dirt or concrete, and you would put your pieces of wood in here and you would light that. Once it catches, you'll put your pot on top of here. And this is how people used to cook long ago when they didn't have stoves or access to any cooking equipment. This is the way that people used to cook a very long time ago. Some people still use these when they're doing weddings. They still use these. So underneath here we have the firewood for the chulha or the fireside. So this is what we call a pukni or a pukani, and it's used to blow into here, and you would ignite the fire or help the fire to grow. And this broom here is what they would use to sweep around the fireplace. Okay, so this is a broom. It's made with dried flowers, and this is what they would use to sweep around the fireside or the chulha. All of these things are really old-time things that they used to use a very long time ago. Some people still use it and some people don't. But when you cook on a fireside, the food actually tastes way different from when you cook on a stove. So we're going to go to check out the Chalta tree now. So from here you can see that big tree right there. These are called marigolds. I used to take these and take them out one by one, and you'd lick them and stick them on your finger and you'd think that you have long nails. This tree over here is a bale leaf tree, and we use it for prayers, for Hindu prayers. Auntie, is the fruit edible? Can you eat it? No. But the fruit on the tree, it's not edible. So this is a close-up of the chalta tree. I don't know if you guys can see any of the chalta on the tree. If you look closely, you may see it, but it's green and the leaves are green. This is the closest I can get because the fruits are really high off the ground. Okay guys, so this is a Mami Seaport tree. It's a very, what color is the fruit inside? It's like an orange color inside. The fruit is like an orange color inside. So we have a ripe one which I'll cut open so you guys can see what it looks like on the inside. So let me go closer so I can show you the young fruit and the flowers. See, the leaves are really broad and thick, and this is a small fruit, and here we have the flower for the fruit. I'm gonna show you guys one that's mature because she picked it for me, so I'll show you guys what it looks like. I'll cut it open so you guys can see. So guys, this is what the chalta fruit looks like when it's mature. If you can tell, you can see there are layers, so it's like, I would describe it to be like a flower that stays closed. So I'm gonna be cutting up this and showing you guys how to make chalta amchar. So guys, this is the mature Mami Seaport. You see how big it gets, almost as big as the palm of my hand. It's very soft because it's ripe. So I'm going to cut into this and I'll show you guys what it looks like on the inside. Here we have one of the rough skin lemon, and you guys always ask me if you could use this to make that lime pepper sauce, and yes you can. So guys, I want to show you all this leaf that we use when we serve prayers food here in Trinidad. It's called a Sahari leaf, and the English name for it is Havana cubana. So this is the leaf that we would serve our prayers food on, and use it for like weddings and prayers and stuff. And it grows like in a bunch, like you can see how bunchy it is at the bottom there. It grows really full and really thick, and it spreads. And a lot of people, they don't know this, but you see the flower there? When that flower dries, there's seeds inside of the flower, and you can replant those seeds to get more plants. This here is a bread nut, or a châtaigne as we would say in Trinidad. It's very prickly to the touch, and it's not a jackfruit. It's way different from a jackfruit. And I love this curried. When this gets full, the seeds in here get really hard. The flesh gets ripe, but we don't use it. But the seeds get so hard, what we do is we clean it, we boil it in very salted water, and then you enjoy it like that, and it's very delicious. On this side we have a couple baigans or melangin or eggplant. These are pretty small. They're very young right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Knocking About, where I've shown you a couple of things that my aunt has growing in the back of her house. So until my next episode, goodbye.